Hello everyone. I'm still playing about with gilding flakes, and I've looking through the internet to see, in fact, what gilding flakes are available anywhere in the world. And it seems that it's easy to find plain colours. It's not quite so easy to find variegated colours. So I thought, what could anybody do to add a little bit of colour to some gilding? So I found at Indigo Blue this mix called Manchester Tart, which is actually a mix of gold, copper and silver. And I think a lot of people may well have the individual colours in their resources. So I thought I would like a bit of green in this. What can I do? So I tried various ways of adding green. I tried some alcohol inks into the flakes. That didn't seem to work. And then I tried adding colour to a gilded die cut. And I used various ink pads. Difficulty trying to find a colour that I liked in a suitable ink. My favourite colour was this, Rustic Wilderness in a Distress Oxide. But Distress Oxides are water-based, and I thought, is it going to stick onto a gilded surface? And I tried, and it tried drying it off with my heat gun and all this kind of stuff, and then it still rubbed off a bit. So then I thought, what could I do to add a bit of colour and then seal it? So I came up with the notion of using some hairspray. And you know, it's kind of magic really. As you probably realise, Distress Oxides are water-soluble inks. And when I sprayed, I dabbed my die cut onto the pad, and it was in kind of solid lines, well, where the edge finished. But when I sprayed with the hairspray, it diffused it. And I thought it was lovely. I really thought it was quite magical. So I'm going to show you the process. I should have actually just shown you without telling you, and it would have been a better surprise, wouldn't it? Never mind. We'll pretend I haven't told you. All right, there's my card. Merry Christmas. The Merry is a little die. I can't find the actual package, but it's one of these Creative Dies by Craft Essentials, which I got from Craft Stash. And this one is a Julie Hickey, which I have used before. Christmas. I've got a Merry as well, a big old Merry, but I wanted a little Merry this time. And my leaves are Sue Wilson dies of Trailing Ivy, which I think are fabulous. Once I'd done them, I started to arrange them on my card, and I thought a bit something missing. So I had another rummage round, and I found a couple of little holly. I don't know what make this is. They've been sculling around for ages. So I've got my holly and my ivy. Merry Christmas. So here we go. Let's get started. Right, first thing I did was to get some scrap, and I've put some just ordinary double-sided tape onto it. A couple of strips here to fill that bit in, a couple of strips there. So hopefully I've got enough space to do a Christmas, to do a Merry, and to do 2 traily leaves. So we can always fiddle around and put them in other places if they... Will that one fit on there? Yes, that one will fit there. That will go there. That will go there. And the Merry could go there. So that's fine. So I've got enough coverage to accommodate the dies I want to cut. That's what I did the previous one from. So I've got a bit of space there, which I haven't thrown away because I thought I might use for something. Okay, here we go. Let's get this lot out of the way. I'll cut that bit off the end as well, so I'm not dealing with more than I need to. Get rid of the rubbish. Right, here we go. First thing, take off the backing of the double-sided tape. And because I've used 2 strips here, I've made sure that there's a bit of an overlap of the 2 so that we don't actually get a line where there's no gilding flakes whatsoever. I think I'll do this first before I undo that one. So here's my indigo blue Manchester Tart gilding flakes, and they calls them mega flakes. They're actually mega for a reason, because they are absolutely huge. Don't know which hand to put which in, really. It's like knife and fork. Look at the size of this. Look, it's absolutely huge. I don't actually want great huge flakes in this instance, so I'm just going to break them up a bit before I start putting them onto the sticky. Right, let's put a little bit on, bit of the other stuff. What I want is a sort of a random finish of colours. There's a bit of silver down the bottom there somewhere. It kind of comes in waves. All right. Oh, glory. See why you need implements. I do hate getting sticky fingers, I have to tell you. Can't bear it. I don't mind inky fingers. And I've just cleaned my fingers. Look at them. They're pretty good. They were bright. Well, not bright. They were green. Lots of green. But the way I found, if you need to go out after you've been crafting and you've got ink on your fingers, a bit of toothpaste and a nail brush works wonders. Have a little scrub with a little bit of toothpaste, particularly the stuff if it's whitening. I think this is really good. Right, let's get some more of this on here. Just tamp it down a bit. Let's put a bit of silver in there. That was gold. Bit of silver. Fill in that. You don't need to have everything covered, because once you start to burnish them with a scoochie or whatever else you've used to burnish your gilding flakes, the bits that rub off will stick to the exposed bits of double-sided tape. So let's just try that one then. Here's my scoochie. Look at this. Whoa. Swirls and everything. Isn't that lovely? Look at it. Got more than I need, really. But it is lovely. Look at that. But there's no colour besides the metallics. It's just copper, gold and silver. And I anticipate adding a touch of green. You can see a line where the 2 tapes met, but it's, at least it is covered with, flakes. Right, here we go. Let's put the top on there before I sneeze or do something dreadful. Right, I'm going to give it a good old burnish now. Right, and we will just clear the deck. Make ourselves nice and tidy. Right. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is to die cut my Christmas sentiment, I think, first. Is that the bit I was going to use on here? Yes. Making sure that it will fit. Have a feel. Just make sure that it doesn't still feel tacky. If it does feel tacky still and you're going to die cut it, just rub it with an embossing buddy or some embossing anti-static tool of some description, and it will not then stick to the inside of your die. Right, I'm going to cut out Christmas. We'll put it at one end. You don't need to see the whole process of this, just know that it's being cut out. Right, here it is. There's our Christmas. These are lovely dies, these Julie Hickey ones, I have to say. I'm really rather partial. Right, and we will take it out. It looks lovely, but I wanted a bit of colour. I wanted a bit of green. So here's where the Distress Oxide comes in. I've got a chart here of my Distress Oxide colours. It needs to be reorganised because I've got that since I made the chart, and I want to get the new lumberjack plaid, so I'm going to have to do a bit of reorganisation. But I like to put them on this chart in colour family so I can look and see just what colour I want to go for, and this is the one that I like the most. It's just, I don't know, it's a warm, pleasing green. So here we are, here's our green, and what I'm going to do, this is where I got messy fingers before, is just grab a bit of ink onto here and there, just odds and ends, bits of ink, just to give it a little bit of life. And that is plenty. But I don't know if you can see, but there are places like just here where there's a definite line going across, and you can see the swipe just there. Now I'm just going to give it a bit of a spray with some hairspray. I'll hold this up here so that I don't make a mess of hairspray all over my mat. So can you see? The ink is moving around. Not only is it making that ink shiny, but it's just diffusing it a little bit, which I think is absolutely fab. It was a bit of a surprise to me. But the only problem is now I've got to wait until that hairspray has dried. But I can carry on with the other things. In fact, the process is completely the same as this one. I'm going to take off this. Add the flakes, all the while that is drying. They are completely mega, these, absolutely mega. Onto the oh goodness me, there's a lot here. Get a bit of silver, we got a bit of gold. There's a bit of gold, more gold down there. A bit of silver here. Look at this watch. Gracious me, what a lot. Get a good weight here. Don't forget, at the moment, you can get 20% off products at Indigo Blue if you put the code CHRIS, C-H-R-I-S, YouTube, all one word, CHRIS YouTube, and you should get 20%, which is very kind of Indigo Blue, which is why I've got some extra supplies. Very nice to have. Right, I think that might be enough. Let's just try it. I'll put the lid back on the pot. It looks like that gets bigger every time I use some. Okay, here we are. Every time it comes out differently. It's wonderful. And this, using tape, is a lot less messy than having to use either Stamp and Bond or anything else really, or glue or anything. Give this a burnish. Make sure it's absolutely flat. It is lovely. the more you put on to start with, the larger the patches will be. The stuff that is at the edge here is the bits that have rubbed off, so you get very much smaller flakes on those areas. Right, let me just tidy up again. I think I'll get rid of this. That lot's going out. Okay. Now we'll arrange our two. I didn't actually need two, did I? Because I only used one on that card, but I'll cut two while I'm at it, and then I'll have an extra one to go with it. There, there, and there. That should do. Okay, cut that out. Okay. How's that doing? Still a bit wet, I think. It does take a while. I'm not going to be able to put it together on a card during this video because it won't be dry. It won't be dry. Don't want to ruin it for the sake of a few moments. You get the idea. So, what I would do with the one that I've already coloured, this one here, to show you, to apply them onto the card. See what you think. What do you think of the difference between the two of those? This is one with a touch of green. That one is plain. I really think the green adds a little interest. So to show you how I put them onto the card, I got oh, where's it gone? Oh, it's in here. Oh, crumbs! Out you come. Oh goodness! An embossing mat and an embossing tool, a stylus, and I just went like this on the back of each leaf, like that. And then in order to put them onto the card and retain that sort of dome-shaped appearance, let's get rid of that one, I used a little foam square like this. And I put one of those, I'll put it on this one actually because that one hasn't been inked yet, onto the back of the leaf. So I'll put a tiny one of these on the back of each leaf, a little dab of glue onto the end of the stem, removed the backings, and then just plumped it onto the card. Easy peasy. This tiny sentiment, if you can see it there, this tiny sentiment is very, very fine. So I used some micro dots, some of these. Simon Says Stamp makes these. This one is made by Sticks to Anything. Brilliant company for sticky stuff. So I used the Merry, one of the micro dots. So, having got my Christmas, I then cut out a backdrop. It's got a shadow, and I didn't know which colour I wanted to use. So I cut several. I cut a green one, a white one, and a gold one. And so I tried out my sentiment on each backing to see which one I liked. There's the green. The whole image changes, doesn't it, when you put it against a different colour backdrop? But in the end, the gold won. So that's why I finished up with the gold one. So, more playtime with gilding flakes. I hope you have a bit of fun. Use what you've got and try and make it go a little bit further. So I'm going to clear up this mess, finish off the card, and thank you once again for watching.